Elon, let me start with one sentence. If humanity can learn to land rockets backwards, then humanity can also learn to govern forwards. Because the truth is, we are living in a strange age. We can see almost everything, and yet we can stop almost nothing. We see children under rubble, cities reduced to dust, families pushed from one unsafe place to another, and the world still somehow moves on. OCHA reports living conditions in Gaza remain dire. Most people are displaced, and essential services are badly damaged. So I want to begin with the deepest problem, not the flashiest one. The deepest problem is not that humanity lacks intelligence. It is that humanity lacks a trustworthy way to turn awareness into coordinated action. Social media gave us a voice, but not execution power. We can post, we can trend, we can outrage, we can argue, but can ordinary people continuously verify public budgets, track funds, audit outcomes, and help shape decisions between elections? Usually no. A society is not truly free if it cannot verify its own decisions. Now, Elon, you forced humanity to think beyond the next quarter and beyond one planet. SpaceX frames Mars as part of making life multi-planetary. Now that matters, but a multi-planetary civilization cannot be built by launch systems alone. If we carry broken governance, opaque incentives, and fragmented communities into space, we do not create a new civilization. We export the old dysfunction into a more dangerous environment. Before humanity expands physically, it must evolve civically. And that is the heart of my platform, a global AI-powered governance system inspired by the logic of Masjid-e-Nabawi. Transparent democracy, community hubs, blockchain transparency, and AI-assisted governance. This is not nostalgia, it is translation. The Constitution of Medina was an early Islamic agreement that formed the first community and regulated relations after the Hijrah. That means Medina was not only a spiritual memory, it was also institutional design, a synthesis of moral purpose and public order. And Sundar, this is where your world enters the picture. Google's mission has been to organize the world's information. That was one of the greatest evolutionary leaps of the digital age. But now I believe the next leap is this. Not just organizing information, but helping humanity organize verified public reasoning. Tomorrow, people should understand local issues via data. In other words, search must evolve from retrieval to decision support. Knowledge graphs must become civic graphs. AI must not only answer questions, it must help communities surface issues, model consequences, and root decisions. Better power is procedural, not theatrical. Mark, your platforms proved something profound. Human beings want connection at scale. Meta says it builds technologies that help people connect. That is powerful. But connection without execution becomes frustration. If billions can speak but cannot turn speech into accountable action, the platform becomes civically thin. Let social platforms grow into implementation networks. Imagine a world where a local community issue does not die in comments. It becomes a proposal with verified inputs and live fund tracking. That is the missing layer. Not less social media, more civic consequence. Larry, this is where enterprise strength matters. No serious civilizational platform can survive on rhetoric. It needs databases, cloud reliability, and secure identity layers. For decades, the enterprise world has solved hard data problems inside companies. The next frontier is solving trust problems across communities. Tamper-evident records, auditable public flows, and traceable treasury movements can reduce darkness and raise the cost of abuse. And that is how trust scales. Now let me widen the lens, because none of this makes sense without understanding the system we live in. We inherited a world shaped by imperial partition. Britannica states that the 1916 Sykes-Picot Agreement divided major territories. A 1945 document states that Arabian oil was of great importance to the future military security of the United States. Federal Reserve history explains that Nixon's 1971 decision ended dollar-gold convertibility, bringing that system to an end. Powerful states and platforms shape incentives, finance, and narratives. When systems become centralized, people feel structurally helpless. Now add AI. The IMF says AI will affect almost 40% of jobs worldwide. The future gets dangerous when intelligence becomes centralized. Inequality is no longer just about wealth, it is about cognition. Who can analyze faster and route public emotion into outcomes? That is why my platform is not just another app idea. It is an attempt to build a civic operating layer. If we want to build a trustworthy future, our language must be stronger than our anger. Official data matters more than sweeping slogans. Now, to the game creators. Rockstar, GTA lets millions inhabit a living city as a behavioral sandbox. Krafton, PUBG, captures team coordination. I am asking you to open a new evolutionary lane inside gaming. My platform vision explicitly includes scientific gamification. Imagine a simulation layer where players learn infrastructure, transport, and civic cause and effect. Do not remove the fun, upgrade the meaning. Billions already learn through interaction. Why not let future games turn players into better thinkers and builders? Rehearsal space for reality. Elon, for a multi-planetary future, this is infrastructure for human capability. Sundar, civic decision assistance, is the most important frontier for AI. Mark, if community means more than engagement, move from voice to execution. Larry, public trust infrastructure is the hardest problem left. I am building toward a world where local communities have real hubs, proposals are visible, and public life regains moral architecture. This is why Jamia Masjid-e-Nabawi matters, a symbol of renewal in living communities that recover responsibility and service. So Elon, Sundar, Mark, Larry, Rockstar, Krafton, this is not a demand. It is an invitation. Bring your strengths and connect them. If we redesign the civic layer, then technology now used to centralize power can become tools that return meaningful power to people. If the tools exist to connect billions, then why live inside decisions you cannot verify? If a platform existed to turn frustration into action, would you actually use it?